Hi everyone and welcome to the 6th edition of the Sack Race Weekly. I'm Jack Kitson and I'm joined by Simon from Empty Seats. And in this episode we're going to look at Sheffield Wednesday, who have sacked Garry Monk, and a familiar face could be returning to the Championship dugout. We're going to look at Wigan, whose manager John Sheridan is expected to leave for Swindon in a move no one saw coming. And then we're going to finish off with our 22nd managers of the season. More on that in a minute. Right, Simon, we're going to start off with Sheffield Wednesday. Garry Monk was sacked on Monday night. It was a decision that came sort of out of the blue in a way. I mean, they just had their points reduction halved to -6. They picked up 4 points for the last two games. But last season, they were third at Christmas, but they fell off in the new year and had a complete shocker. But did this come out the blue to you, or did you see this one coming?
Yeah, really weird timing, this one for me. Garry Monk at Sheffield Wednesday. I'm not his biggest fan, but I think this year he's done pretty well, to be honest, given the points deduction. And it looks like he was about to take them out of the relegation zone and get them climbing the table. 12 points from 11 games. It's not spectacular this season, but he was getting the job done and keeping the points ticking over. I think the timing was a surprise because they lost 4 games in a row just a couple of weeks ago, ending with that 1-0 loss to Wycombe, which was Wycombe's first win and a big shock. So I think if they were going to get rid of him, it made sense to do it then if they'd lost faith. But then he kind of turned things around. He beat Bournemouth 1-0. I think that was Bournemouth's first defeat of the season, and then got a really good 0-0 with Millwall. So a really weird timing for this one. If they wanted to get rid of Monk, they should have done it earlier. It seems weird to get rid of him. As you say, 4 points in 2 games against 2 good Championship teams. A bit of weird timing, especially as the owners kind of backed him in the summer. They bought in like Kachunga, they bought in Josh Windass, Callum Patterson, spent a bit of money as well. He was going to take them up the table. It wasn't a great points total. But yeah, really weird timing after those last 2 results.
So Monk's last 4 jobs have all come in the Championship, and he's never really lasted longer than a year in each of those. So Leeds 53 games, Middlesbrough 26, Birmingham 59, and then Sheffield Wednesday 58. What do you think's next for Monk? Do you see him returning to the Championship, or will he have to dip down to League One, or maybe he just needs a break, or even go abroad?
Yeah, tricky one for Monk. I do think he'll probably get another Championship job given his experience, what he's done. You know, at Swansea he was very good. At Wednesday he's done okay, a disappointing end to last season and perhaps a disappointing start to this one. But I think he'll be back in the Championship. Certainly a League One club would take him. I think he's still a young manager. He's still learning the game. But he's got some good experience under his belt now at Championship level. So I wouldn't be surprised to see a club near the relegation zone give him another job in the Championship.
So we're all set to debate who will replace Garry Monk. We had our notes ready, our list of candidates, then boom, Tony Pulis is all set to take charge. Apparently, betting has been suspended with one bookmaker. I mean, there's been a bit of harsh criticism, I think, on Tony Pulis. There's been a mixed reaction. But are you excited to see if this one actually happens?
Why wouldn't you be excited to have Tony Pulis back in football management and back in the Championship? I was surprised to learn that he's only actually won 1 promotion from the Championship during his pretty long career. That, of course, was with Stoke back in 2008. But you've got to say he's managed in the Premier League now for most of the last few jobs of his career. He was at Palace, wasn't he? And, of course, Stoke in the Premier League, he did an amazing job. So if Sheffield Wednesday can get a manager who's used to managing in the Premier League and get him at the bottom of the Championship, I think it's a pretty good achievement for them, but I'm not sure how well it's going to go down with their fans. We know what Tony Pulis is about. It's direct football. It's no nonsense stuff, but I'm excited to see him and that cat back in the dugout.
Tony Pulis was, of course, a former Premier League Manager of the Year, and he had his best win rate at Middlesbrough, which was his last job in the dugout. But now, just in case, we must stress at the time of recording, it's not been confirmed and anything can happen. Just in case there is a twist, Simon, who would your pick for the Sheffield Wednesday job be?
I think I'll go for Ryan Lowe. I mean, he's the up-and-coming young thing in the EFL at the moment. Amazing job with Bury, got them promoted from League 2, then moved to Plymouth again in League 2, got them promoted, and he started life in League 1 pretty well as well. And it's really exciting football for Plymouth fans at the moment. It's attacking stuff. And I really like Ryan Lowe and what he's done. He's such a young manager. I think this is just his 3rd season as a full-time manager. It's been absolutely exceptional stuff for him. I think he's going to get a job in the Championship soon. I'd like to see a club like Sheffield Wednesday take a chance on someone like Ryan Lowe. I mean, we've seen Tony Pulis before at this level. He is a safe pair of hands. He is experienced, but let's see some of these young English managers get jobs at this level. It'd be so exciting to see Lowe in the Championship. I think he'll get there pretty soon, but at the moment he's doing a good job at Plymouth in League 1.
In contrast, I thought the stars were aligned for Nigel Pearson to return to the club. He captained and led to promotion, led to League Cup glory. He lives in the area. He's got Championship experience of getting club at Leicester into the Premier League. I thought that was one that was nailed on. But no, it's not happened. And Tony Pulis looks to be the man at the moment who's getting the hours job. But stay tuned and check out the sack race to keep up to date on that one. Right, Simon, on to section 2, where we're looking at Wigan and Swindon. And John Sheridan looks all set to leave Wigan for their League One rival Swindon in a move no one saw happening earlier this week. He came out the blue in the betting, and now one bookmaker is suspended, and by the time this goes out, he may have moved, he may have switched clubs in what will be his 4th job of 2020 and 11th in the last 5 years. It's staggering. There is a connection though. Swindon chairman Lee Power was also chairman at Waterford, who Sheridan managed before he moved to Wigan in the summer. What on earth do you make of this one?
Yeah, I was a bit confused as to why Swindon are doing it more than why Sheridan's doing it. From his point of view, I believe he's on a month-to-month rolling contract at Wigan. Obviously, finances are tight at the club. They're cutting corners. They're trying to save money and get themselves out of the problem that they found themselves in last year, unfortunately. So from Sheridan's point of view, if you're going from a month-to-month rolling contract to a permanent contract, stepping up a bit in the league in terms of league position at the moment, I think he's right to take it if he gets offered it. But I'm not sure what Swindon are thinking, to be honest, to be brutally honest. I don't think John Sheridan's the best manager they could have picked at this level. I mean, you look at his other clubs, you mentioned how many jobs he's had in the last 5 years. He's not a long-term manager, it doesn't seem. I think since Chesterfield a decade ago, is it fair to say he's not really had any success, really? I mean, it's a bit harsh, but I'm not a big fan of John Sheridan. He's a hard, tough-talking manager. I'm not sure he's what Swindon need, and I think he's the complete opposite to Richie Wellens. So the success Wellens brought them just last season and getting them into League One, it seems like they're completely like turning that around he's completely a different manager. I'm not sure what he's going to bring to the club, and I'm not sure he's going to last to the end of this season, to be honest. It could be another job in 2020.
I can imagine you could get a good price on him returning to Oldham for about the 10th time before the season's out. Again, this one hasn't happened yet, but there are odds on the next Wigan manager available on the site, courtesy of Bet Victor. We've got Graham Alexander, who's the favourite to replace John Sheridan should he leave at Wigan. We've got a familiar face in Gary Caldwell, who's up there at 4-1. Liam Richardson, the assistant, who's 5-1. Steve Cotter at 6-1. And Nigel Adkins at 12-1. Do any of those names tickle your fancy?
No, not really, to be honest. I mean, if you're a Wigan fan, this isn't the best list of managers you've ever seen. To be honest, I think, as I've mentioned, Wigan are trying to save money, so I think it will be the assistant, Liam Richardson, who gets the job. Perhaps not on a permanent basis long term. I know they've got a takeover hopefully in the works. If they get a takeover done and get a proper backing, a proper board behind them, I hope they appoint a permanent manager, someone a bit more esteemed than Richardson. No offence to him, he's done a good job as caretaker in the past, I believe. So I think he'll get the job just for now. I don't think they're in a position to spend any money to bring in a new manager, which is a shame because Wigan's a brilliant club. Hope they get a good manager in soon, but I think Richardson's in line for the job. But my eyes do draw to Gary Caldwell as well. I know he said he's interested in the job. He could take it if he's offered it, but again, he's not going to work for free, as he's going to be paid some sort of wage. It might not be as high as some of the other names you've mentioned because he's a club legend. You know, he'd do it for the love of the club, I'd hope. But yeah, it's one of those two for me. But of course, there is Sol Campbell, I believe, on that list as well. The name that always gets mentioned but never gets picked. Will he finally get a job, and will it be with Wigan? Another basket case club at the moment. He's done Southend, he's done Macclesfield. Wigan just seems like the next logical step for Sol, doesn't it?
12-1, you can back him at the moment. As you said, Gary Caldwell, he would jump at the chance, according to local reports, to return to the club. He led to the League One title. It's a bit of a different scenario this time round, but we'll see how that one plays out. I would say Graham Alexander. We've already seen him linked, a bit like Sol Campbell, with a load of jobs since he left Salford. But I think he's a brilliant manager with a few promotions, a couple of promotions on his CV, and he's available for hire. So if they can afford him, I think they should go for him. But as you said, yeah, it could be a short-term contract, this one, and we'll see how this one plays out. Right, Simon, we're now on to our third section where we each pick our manager of the season so far from the Premier League, Championship, League One and League Two. I know there's not been too many games. There's a little pause and play, so I thought we'd have a bit of fun. We get 20 seconds each. If you've got your timer ready to time each other.
Get mine up right now, yeah.
20 seconds to put forward our case for who we believe has impressed in each division. As the more handsome of us both, you can start with your Premier League pick. Right,
Well,
1 second, 1 second.
Oh,
3, 2, 1, go.
Right, there's only one or two men for the job, I think, in the Premier League, and one of them, my pick, is Dean Smith from Aston Villa. Look at the job he's done at the club. They just avoided relegation last season, brought in the likes of Matty Cash, Ross Barkley, Ollie Watkins. Grealish is on fire. They're playing sensational stuff. 15 points from 7 games, and if they win their game in hand, they go top of the Premier League. There's no
And stop.
job.
Lovely, Dean Smith. Great pick, great pick. Absolutely love what he's done. But he did lose to a manager that's coming up next. Have you got your timer ready?
Let me get my timer ready. Okay. 3, 2, 1, go.
Right, I'm outrageously biased, but you can't look past Ralph Hasenhüttl. I'm a Southampton fan, of course. He led them to first in the league over the weekend. First place Southampton. What is going on there? It's a real identity to the Saints at the moment. They're great to watch. This time last year, Hasenhüttl was favourite for the sack. Everyone thought he was going to go. He lost 9-0 to Leicester. He lost to Everton. But look at them this season. Boom. Right. Simon.
In fairness, it was when I said one of two managers, I thought Hasenhüttl, and I know you're a Southampton fan, so I let you have Hasenhüttl, and I'd talk about Dean Smith. But it is remarkable, you know, you mentioned it's about a year to the day, isn't it, since they lost 9-0 to Leicester at home, and I think a lot of clubs would have sacked their manager after that, but Hasenhüttl's proved he's one of the best managers in the league, in my opinion. Done a fantastic job, and look where Southampton are now. You're getting nosebleeds, Jack, aren't you?
Well, you've said Dean Smith. You can't change your choice now. The two brilliant managers. Right, Simon, I'll take over for the championship. So if you could get that timer going again.
Right, Jack, time for your championship pick. 20 seconds on the clock, starting now.
Right, I'm going to stay down on the south coast for this one. Jason Tindall at Bournemouth. He had huge shoes to step into after Eddie Howe left. But what a job he's done. They've lost one game, just one game so far. They're in 4th place. And I'm loving the football at the moment. He lost Callum Wilson, Ryan Fraser in the summer, but he's put together a great squad. And they're looking at...
Stop.
They could win promotion. Oh, just got that one in there.
Yeah, promotion contenders. He's done a very good job, but there's only one man for this for me, and it's not a man even in the top 6.
3, 2, 1, go.
How can you talk about the championship and talk... my camera's gone. How can you talk about the championship and not talk about this man? My manager of the season so far is not even in the top 6. It's Middlesbrough's Neil Warnock. He's had coronavirus. They finished 17th last season, and that was only thanks to him coming in at the end of the season. He didn't get any of his transfer targets, really. Only a few players brought in, and yet he's kept 6 clean sheets out of his last 7 games. Conceded...
And stop.
Oh, that wasn't enough time to talk about the amazing Neil Warnock.
We could dedicate a whole show to Neil Warnock. What a man. Can he get that 9th promotion?
All I've written at the end of my notes there is Warnock is back. That's all you need to know.
Warnock is God. Simon, you can go straight on to League One. You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
3, 2, 1, go.
Hull City's Grant McCann. Not more needs to be said about this. Last season they were horrendous in the Championship, conceding so many goals a game. Only won 1 game in 2020 in that league. I think now he's turned things around. They're in the playoffs, 21 points from 10 games. He's got them playing really attacking football. They're looking so good at the moment. And McCann, I thought was going to get sacked, but he's turned things around.
Lovely. With time to spare as well. Very succinct, that one.
League One, Jack, 3, 2, 1, go.
Right, I was going to pick Darren Ferguson, but Charlton's Lee Bowyer is on sizzling form. 6 wins in a row, which is the club's best in the league since Chris Powell's promotion-winning side back in 2012 when they went up from League One. They're 3rd in the table with a game in hand. If they win that, they go joint top. I think they will. Lee Bowyer.
Stop. Very good timing, that one. Lee Bowyer, I really like him as well. Very good timing.
And now on, would you like to go first?
I'll go, I feel like we might have picked the same person. I'll go first.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, go.
I haven't picked any table toppers apart from in this division. Mike Flynn at Newport County. What more needs to be said? Usually they're battling relegation. I think they finished 14th last season. Now they're reinvigorated, playing amazing stuff. Top of the league, 25 points from 11 games. They've hardly dropped any points and they keep scoring last minute winners. We love Flynn on this show. He is the manager of the season so far in League 2.
I was actually going to pick him as well, but I knew you would pick him. So I'll move on to mine now. You ready?
3, 2, 1, go.
Flindog, that's a great pick, but I raise you Mark Bonner. Free scoring Cambridge, 24 goals in 11 games. They're the highest goal scorers in English football. They've won 7 games, they're up to second, and they're 2 points off top spot. And like the others I've said before, I think they've got a great chance to win promotion this season.
Perfect timing there as well, Jack.
Getting it down to a T now.
I really like Bonner. He's done really, really well. But as you mentioned, he's 2 points behind Michael Flynn. So
we'll see. Come back to me at Christmas. It'll be
Christmas.
10 points. Right, Simon, as always, thank you very much for running through things today. And we'll see how all this pans out because there's so much up in the air. Next time we speak, Tony Pulis could be Sheffield Wednesday manager, John Sheridan could be Swindon manager, and Mark Bonner will be top of the table.
I'd like to say thanks for having me on again, but what usually happens when we predict something or give a manager praise is that it turns into an absolute shambles, the sack race curse. So I expect Neil Warnock, Grant McCann and Mike Flynn to bomb down the table over the coming weeks.
And Saints will probably get relegated at the end of the season now, with Mark Hughes at the helm. Cheers, guys.